All right. Hey, everybody. These are always so weird to start off because they're so different, but how's it going? Let me know how I sound. I think I messed up a little bit of the audio stuff, so I might need your guys' help to fine tune everything back. I hope I didn't blow your eardrums out. If so, sorry. Sorry. Actually, I'm sorry. But let's talk a bit about Chicago coming up today. I like doing these pre-race ones before a lot of the bigger races. We did one before Mexico. We did one before the Daytona 500, Talladega. We're gonna do it before, the Coke 600. But then Indy ran long, and I listen. You don't mess with Indy, right? You don't mess with the Indy 500. But I want to talk a bit about Chicago today. It's a big race. A lot of stuff around it, a lot of stuff with the in-season tournament, a lot of stuff with it being a big event, run up to the playoffs, all of that stuff going on. And I like hanging out with y'all. I know, a lot of people are going to be, I already see it. A lot of people are going to be looking at SVG. A lot of people saying SVG will win. I see Ethan says Elliott and Curtis is Elliott back to back. So maybe I'm not completely right. Let's see. We'll definitely go over the race, the picks, all of that. But I wanted to kind of do like a short little almost check down, basically, stream. Just kind of covering the basis, because I think we actually have a lot of stuff going on with this race. There's a lot of stuff both with the race itself and then outside of it that I think is really interesting looking forward. I mean, you see it, rain's incoming, tournament round 2. I didn't mention, playoffs even in the in the description or the title. But there's also possibly the last year of NASCAR racing on the streets of Chicago. They've some of the city officials have talked about like we'd like it, but we don't know, and all that other stuff. And it seems like reading the tea leaves that it's probably not going to be happening. And yeah, I mean, 3 years of this, and it's looking like we're going to have 3 rain races, unfortunately. Let's get into some of the basis of it. This is the Grant Park 165 coming up today. And the starting lineup goes like this: SVG on pole with Michael McDowell, Carson Hocevar third, fourth is Reddick, fifth Briscoe. Then we have Kyle Busch, Preece, Busher, Gibbs, and Austin Dillon the top 10. Then Alex Bowman, Joey Logano, Bell, Larson, Keselowski, the top 15. 16th is 16, Allmendinger. 17th is Blaney. Then Suarez, Brown, and Gilliland, the first half of the field. Herbst in 21st, Chastain in 22nd, Custer in the 23rd spot, Gregson 24th, Nemechek 25th, then Zane Smith, Austin Cindric, Justin Haley, Josh Berry, and Austin Hill, the top 30, following with Bilicki in 31st, Stenhouse 32nd, Catherine Legg in 33rd, Jones starts in 34th, then Cody Ware 35th, Ty Dillon, the GOAT, 36th. I just love saying that because the chat always makes the jokes. Bubba Wallace, 37th, one of his worst tracks. That's going to be a tough one. William Byron, 38th. Elliott, 39th. Denny Hamlin, dead last in the 40th spot. So we're going to put those down in the bottom for you guys. I got to say, I mean, this is going to be one of those fields like Mexico where it's going to get shuffled up as it goes. You're going to have guys who are going to be moving forward in a lot of this. You're going to have guys that are just going to be stuck in the back. You're going to have guys up front that are going to need that track position and the strategy to fall perfectly to stay up there. And you got this NASCAR posted as it covers me. Numbers 4, 5, 9, 10, 23, 24, 47, 48, 78 cars dropping to the rear due to unapproved adjustments. The 11 car due to an engine change. Yes. And you know what? Let's look at this. And thank you to Reverend Rasheem Hall Stewart saying, put Daytona back to the 4th of July weekend. Blame Daytona Beach for that one. NASCAR really didn't change it as much as the local area did. And Stephen Gibson, I realize I missed you. NASCAR will find a way to have rain next week in Sonoma, but seriously though, San Diego will be impacted whenever that'll be because that's our luck. San Diego, from the sound of it, would probably take over the Father's Day weekend, which would be really cool. I know at some point my dad and I probably would like to go to that. My dad used to live in San Diego. I'd be I'd be down for if they had to have a 4th of July weekend one next year that's different from Chicago, I'd be down with Atlanta. Have that similar feel, the Firecracker 400. Put it on a Sunday night so we're not on 4th of July night because let's be honest, nobody watches stuff on the 4th of July night in America. That and I don't want Chicagoland that week if they come back just because, let's be honest, I love blowing shit up in my grandparents' backyard. But we're not talking about that yet. We're talking about this race. It's looking like an estimated green flag start time of 2:25 Eastern time or 1:25 local time Central. Pole sitter is Shane Van Gisbergen. Now, here's what the weather looks like right now. Now, I looked this up about 20 minutes ago, roughly. So it's pretty accurate from the National Weather Service. 1 p.m., 84 degrees, cloudy, 15% chance of rain. 2 p.m., 84, again, cloudy, 21% chance of rain. 3 o'clock, we get to 80% or 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Showers, 58% chance of rain. That's the peak of the day. Will be 3, roughly, at least according to the forecast. 78 degrees at 4 o'clock. Showers, 56%. Rain should stop fully by about 6 p.m. Central Time, and sunset is 8:28 p.m. Central Time. They're going to get this race in today, and I don't think we're going to see a ton of delays in it. I said the same thing about Mexico, and it was a short little, rain caution and all of that. I think that we're going to be in the clear to race. Yeah, we'll talk about Heim DNQ in a bit, but talking about the here and now, I think we're going to be pretty good to go. I will actually really quick look at now, unfortunately, you guys won't be able to see it, but I can at least relay the radar to you on what it looks like around Chicago. And so, again, I'm letting you know now, I am about 90 miles west of Chicago. What I get, Chicago will probably get in an hour or two, right? And looking at the radar right now, I mean, around here, it's a little gloomy. It rained last night, but nothing too much. I know people aren't going to want to hear this, but it's pretty much that we're going to have a lot of pop-ups. So there's nothing around Chicago right now. Nothing. Honestly, there's nothing really past Sycamore and DeKalb, or not even close to like Crystal Lake, Elgin, Aurora. The area, it. There's a small thunderstorm that's kind of building around Oregon and Rochelle, which is a little south of Rockford, which is where I'm at. So it's about 100 miles or so away. Unfortunately, the radar is not playing on my end. So it's probably a good thing I'm not showing it off. It is building a little bit. That's the problem. It's building, but it doesn't look like it's going to be something big. It looks like from what we were looking at the radar, it's looking like pop-ups are going to be there. We're going to probably get rain. I don't think we're going to get any heavy rain like we got the last 2 years, and I don't think we're going to get any thunderstorms, really. If we do, they'll be quick. I would highly doubt we get any kind of lightning delay in this. At least what I know growing up around here, it'll build up like that, and the radar will show it building up, but it generally kind of breaks up a lot of the time. So yeah, I don't think that we're gonna see that. Am I going to the race? I'm saying no, he's not. Yeah, no, I'm not. Stay here with the family and the kiddo. Okay, I'm a-okay and good to wait till Chicagoland comes back. But weather-wise, we have had much worse for Chicago. Even though it might rain a little bit during the day and it might be pop-ups, it is much better weather than we've had the last 2 years. We will not have the Noah's Ark level flood that we had in the first year. And I'm telling you, a lot of people are like, well, it rains a lot in this time of year. You should know this. I'm like, yeah, but we did not get that kind of rain like ever. I can't remember the last time we had that much rain and that kind of storm over Chicago and over Northern Illinois at that point. We're not getting anywhere close to that. I honestly don't think we'll even get as close to what we had last year. So I will say, I think we are going to end probably within the window today, unless there's some weird thunderstorm pop up. I think we end in the window. So positive news there, that's for sure. And there's been maybe not as much hype as when NBC had the race. TNT just I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna call it as it is. Terrible at broadcasting their and advertising their sports. Not broadcast, but advertising their sports are terrible with it. Um, but there's still a lot of hype. There's still a lot of people I know around here that knew about the race going on and talked to me about it. I remember when I bought fireworks the other day, there were people up in Wisconsin who were talking about the race, and they saw the hat. So I think, I think there's still going to be some decent hype behind it. I think it's going to be probably a world-class event like it's been the last couple of years. And hopefully the rain can hold off more on that. Looking at some of the super chats that rolled through here. Cavs fan asking, do you think all 4 Hendrick cars still get top 10s? Not at this rate. I'm wondering, which by the way, we'll review some picks too. I'm going to double check. I made sure I didn't put that as one of my predictions because that's definitely, I don't think, happening today. Marky Mark saying, get your windshield wipers ready. Get them ready. Get them ready. And then Beast of Metal says, a moment of silence for Corey Heim, the first driver to fail to qualify for a NASCAR Cup Series race since Timmy Hill missed the 2018 AAA Texas 500 in November of 2018, driving for MBM, now Garage 66. Yes, if you exclude Daytona, yeah, I believe it's the first DNQ since then for the Cup Series. Just overdrove it and broke the car. I will say I'm not too worried about a driver of his caliber and that young overdriving the car and getting damage, that takes them out. I'm not really all that worried about him. I remember Kyle Busch. No, granted, there were a lot more people, but Kyle Busch DNQ'd, I think, the first 3 attempts he had at a Cup race. And look how he turned out. I don't think Corey Heim will be Kyle Busch, but I think he'll still be a really solid Cup guy at some point. Now, looking at some of the other stuff, the big talking point, I think, is Shane Van Gisbergen. He won yesterday. He won the first year here. He won last year, I believe, in the Xfinity Series race. He's the favorite. They're just far and away. He's starting at the pole. He is the favorite to get the win in this. And let's be honest, too. A win would go a long way, I think, in people not being as critical of him being in the playoffs. I mean, you can see the standings down here at the bottom. Damn, it's bright. Down there at the bottom. There, not as bright. And he's, last of the 12 winners. And there's 4 spots left open for winning. We'll talk about the playoff part in a bit. This win would for sure ensure him in, obviously. But I think it'll go a long way in solidifying that he's not just, getting one-off wins to get him in or anything like that. He is the favorite, far and away. I think he was at the top of everybody's big board for picks. I think he's the guy that everybody was looking at both races. And if anyone's going to get the sweep of it, of any race this year, it's going to be him here. He's just that damn good. The problem is just that Cup races are so chaotic and so difficult to forecast that, there's just that difficulty of knowing, like he could have a caution fall at the exact wrong time, like he did the exact right time in Mexico, and a race that he could win by 18 seconds, he could end up finishing 18th. Looking at some of the picks that we had this week, if you haven't seen NWP, spoilers, but if you haven't watched it at this rate, I don't think you're going to watch it at all. But these were our picks this week. Chat, y'all have Shane Van Gisbergen as the pick. Danny has Michael McDowell. So pretty good on your end. I got Ty Gibbs. I think he has the best average finish in Chicago. And Tyler Reddick. Eric has Tyler Reddick, hoping that I saw him say that he's hoping and thinking that Mexico was a blip on the radar, basically. No pun intended. I don't think SVG can make a major mistake, or they can make a major strategy mistake. And the thing is last year he got really taken out because of the rain more than anything. That caused the accident that took him out of this race. So I'm just saying, man, I would not count out a lot of guys in the field. I'm looking at some of these guys on the big board too. Gibbs, obviously, we talked about. Reddick, we talked about. And McDowell, we talked about. Hocevar, a lot of speed. He's a hell of a talented driver. Something happens to those favorites. I could see him being somebody ready to pounce as long as he doesn't take himself out of the race. That's the problem for him. The Hendrick boys, Larson, Byron Elliott starting in the back, but we've seen strategies and rainfall at the right time, and you're ending up with guys who are at the back shuffling up to the front for long or for short runs at the finish. All three of them really great road course drivers. I will say this: Elliott is not as dominant as he used to be. Obviously, he's not winning every other road course. He's not dominating, leading 50-60% of the race. But I think he showed in Mexico, like, he still has the pace there. He still has a pace that might not have been the SVG pace at a new track, but he's familiar here. It's going to take a lot to get him up there. I doubt that he probably gets up there without some luck and strategy helping him out. But if there's anyone on the Hendrick side that could do it, it's him. AJ Allmendinger, somebody that I think is going under the radar, but I think it's because of his recent struggles for his standards at road courses. Could be somebody that pops up really, really good today. There's also some more to talk about when it comes to preparing for this race. I'll get rid of this right now because we do also have the cut line battle going on. It was popping on the bottom. 8 races to go, 7 after today. Buescher plus 52. Chris Buescher, I think, is statistically the best road course racer of the next gen era. So this would be really good for him to have a good point stay as long as somebody else below the cut line doesn't win. Alex Bowman won here last year, plus 39. Looks to me like a really good recipe for that team as long as they execute well. He's a good road course driver as well. Should probably get a top 10 today and probably get a good amount of stage points. Bubba Wallace, plus 23. This is going to be difficult for him. He's starting in the back. He's not that great at road courses. He's had good luck before at some of them in recent years, but I don't trust him, as I spelled his name wrong too. Ryan Preece. See, that's the thing. Everything's going wrong, even my spelling of his name. Ryan Preece, Eric Jones, those guys, I think they have a lot of momentum, but I don't know if they can make up enough points if there's new winners, and I think there'll probably be at least another new winner. I have a feeling that today might shuffle it up points-wise, but if there's a winner outside of there, I mean, like I said, I mentioned earlier, Ty Gibbs could shake this whole thing up. Carson Hocevar could shake it up. Michael McDowell. There could be a lot of guys that change the face of that cut line battle really, really quickly today. Of course, again, you got your guys there like Larson, Bell, Byron, Elliott, all these guys that you're seeing on the bottom that won before this year. They could also go up there and win, and nothing changes. I would pretty much say I think it's going to be SVG, but I've seen so many crazy things take people out. Let's see. NA YouTube here says, have you heard anything about there being split screen in NASCAR 25? Getting concerned it might not be in the game. I mean, I can poke around about it. I know a few people that probably can give me some answers. I can poke around about it. I have a feeling it will be. It seems like they're getting the basics down for the game. I know there'll be more stuff coming out about it in the coming weeks and definitely going into August. So I wouldn't be too worried about what they haven't shown yet, because I think they're really drip feeding it the way the College 25 did, which is sort of like the new way of doing things. I think a lot of people are worried because it's not the same way that old NASCAR games did it. And it's somewhat similar to the way that Ignition did it. The problem with Ignition is like, they didn't show a damn thing. They didn't show even really anything until the last possible seconds that they could. I'm with, Brayden here. I'm optimistic about the game. No gameplay yet. And I want to see gameplay. I think we're all chomping at the bit to see that. But I do think that it's I think it's going to be a pretty decently good game. I'm optimistic about it. Now, if I play it and I think the opposite, I'll let you know. I'm not going to, kiss ass or say things that, to lead you or mislead you on it. But if I like it, I'll let you know at any point whenever I get it. I hope the sooner the better, Now, some new stuff to look at too. It's TNT and Max's second race back. Now, I'm going to say this, and I was on the minority of it. I was not a fan of TNT's coverage. I didn't like the audio mixing. I didn't like that the commercials were very reminiscent of Fox, or like, come back, be there for 2 laps, or be there for a little bit and then go back to commercial. Was not crazy about it. Wasn't really crazy too much about the production. The people I didn't mind. I like the booth a lot. I like the people in the pits. I didn't mind any of that. To me, it was just the production I was not crazy about. So I want to see what they can do for this. This is a huge event. NASCAR has made it a huge event. NBC has built this event up the last 2 years. And the local area, I mean, like I said, people even 100 miles away from Chicago were talking about this event. I want to see if they can deliver on it. And yes, I get it. Prime spoiled us, but let's also be honest. Take Prime out of the equation. It's better than Fox, but this is I don't think TNT's coverage right now even is close to NBC's, which I think is about B-level coverage. I gave it a C. I want to see it improve this week. This is a bigger event. They should treat it as such. Now there's also the TNT brought on in-season tournament or challenge or whatever the hell they're calling it. So let's have some fun here. Right? Let's have a little fun with this. And I'm going to list off the matchups, and I want to see who you guys think advances to the next round on this. Again, no points in it. Drivers probably don't even care really all that much about it. Teams aren't going to change their strategies about it, but it's something fun to do. So I'm going to give you guys the matchups, and you guys spam the numbers in the chat of who you think it's going to be winning this one. Ty Dillon versus Brad Keselowski. Who do we think wins that one? I'm going to let you guys go for a minute, and then I will give you mine. I want to see the numbers that pop up. We already see a 10 for Ty. Lots of sixes. Let's see. I'm seeing 10, 6, 6, 6. Nice. 10, 6, 6, 10. Lots of sixes I'm seeing. So, and maybe I could do polls with it too. It might be easier to do polls with it each time. And I'll basically just do pick and then just put 6 and 10 and then put it up. So let's just do that. We'll put the polls up and I'll see what you guys pick each time. It'll be a lot easier to do it that way because then I can copy off who you guys think. And it's looking like, based on what the chat was saying, looking like based on what you guys are polling, it looks like you guys are going Brad. So I'm gonna keep track of the chat picks compared to mine. I'm gonna go Ty Dillon, actually. I don't trust Brad at road courses really anymore. I think he's been off. I don't trust this team. I don't trust the crew chief. I just in general do not trust the 6. And I get that, you're like, well, the other option is Ty Dillon. But the thing is that Ty Dillon did show some good speed at Mexico before, again, things go wrong. I don't need Ty Dillon to get me a top 10. I just need him to finish ahead of Brad, and I could totally see him finishing ahead of Brad. So I am going to go. You guys are going with Brad. I am going to go with Ty Dillon on this one. So we are split on this, which means the next one we're going to do, and there goes the papers and my notes. It's this thing. I don't have a desk this week. I just have like a little shelf. Oh, man. All right. Next one we're going to do is Bubba Wallace versus Alex Bowman. Who are you guys going with Bubba Wallace versus Alex Bowman this week? 48 or 23? Who are we going with? Holy Jesus. That is lopsided. That is very lopsided. So far, we have Bowman. He was in the 90s. Now I'm pulling in the 80s. I mean, that's clear and cut. You guys are going with Alex Bowman, and I'm with y'all on it. I go Alex Bowman as well. Thing is, Bubba Wallace, he's gotten better at road courses. I don't trust him at road courses. I don't trust that team right now either. And quite frankly, he does, I believe a bit in momentum. There is no momentum there. I think that the confidence is shot down a little bit. So I'm going to go with the 48 defending winner. I think he finishes ahead of Bubba Wallace today. We'll end the poll there. Next one up is, see, this is the thing. This is just for fun, and we're having fun here. This is a lot of fun. And that's the whole point of it, So
this is fun. We're having fun. This is fun. We're having fun.
Double it up. I didn't realize I didn't change that setting. Next one up is Chase Elliott versus John Hunter Nemechek. Who do we have in that one? I'm going to be honest, and I think I'm going to be in the same boat as you. We're both going Chase. We are in the same place. We are going Chase. Thing is, I think this is a sneaky one. I think John Hunter Nemechek can be a top 10 guy. He finished 6th at Mexico. He's got a bit of momentum. Legacy Motor Club also has that momentum going for them right now. I could totally see this being the upset of the day. I could. As much as I trust Chase Elliott to run well, he's starting in the back. John Hunter Nemechek, that legacy team, are not a pushover anymore. So while I go with the 9, it would not surprise me to see the 42 win this thing. What's it? All good? Oh, we got a cameo.
Hi.
It's the Wifeberg. NA YouTube here saying, I'm 21 and played the NASCAR games with my dad, who's 61. I've moved out now, but would still like to play when I visit him other than Heat 5. So I probably more than most am hoping for split screen. I hope for your sake that you get it. I really do. Cause I want to play it with like my dad and my friends and everybody. I mean, the thing is the cool thing about living in the same town as old Danny B and John Player is that we can have an in-person tournament with each other. Riss says, obviously, hello. I like when she has her little cameos every now and then. And yes, Skull. You know the quickest way to my heart, other than the Wifeberg. All right, so we're pretty clear that the chat's going Chase here, which means we're gonna go to the next one. We both got Chase on our ends. The next one. This one I think is awesome. I think this one's really going to be a fun one. And it is Eric Jones versus Ricky Stenhouse. Poll goes up now on that one. Let's see. No. As fun as it was at the time, that was probably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made on YouTube. I hope they have fun with it now. It looks great what it's turned into. I will never do something like Core again. I might do little fun streams like that, but it will be just for fun. I am never gonna do anything like that again. So this one's close. Ricky Stenhouse is a sneaky good road course racer. But thing is, I think Eric Jones is somebody who's sneaky good as well. I believe in the momentum. I do like it. And I'm going to go with Jones on this one. And it's looking like you guys agree with me as well. So we're kind of going chalk a little bit on this one. A lot of confidence with Legacy Motor Club so far this year. With the in-season tournament, that is. Next one. This one, I think, is going to be one of the most far away of the picks here. And it is Noah Gragson versus Ryan Preece. Listen, I don't really see Preece as somebody who's a world beater at these tracks. I really don't see that. But Noah Gragson has been trash here, y'all. He has been trash at Chicago. And if it rains, I think he's going to be even worse. So, I'm going with old Preece. And it looks like you guys are too. We are polling well in the 90s. This might be the most lopsided of the polls. We'll end it on that one. Guys, got to vote quick. Got to vote quick. From there, we have, I think, a really interesting one. Carson Hocevar versus Tyler Reddick. 77 versus 45. By the way, while we're voting, if you haven't already subscribed, we do these pre-race ones before a lot of the big races, post-race after Trucks Xfinity Cup, NWP as well, which this week will be on Eric's channel, but subscribe for new. We're on the journey to 88K. We're almost there. I think we're under 100 away now. This is a close poll, though. This is looking like a really close poll. Right now, you guys are leaning 45. Now, I don't want to skew the numbers too much if anyone's going off what I say. I'm going to go Carson Hocevar. I think the 45 team's a bit off this year. This team has just been sort of mediocre. I think that what they did at Mexico is very concerning, and I think Carson Hocevar has some really good upside to him. Starting up front, has a track position early. I don't think he's going to probably contend for the win, but I could see him getting the top 5. I could see him really getting a top 10 today, and I think Reddick could too if that team is able to execute. So I'm going 77 on this one. But it looks like you guys, I mean, we'll let it go a little bit longer, but we are, I mean, this is razor thin, 52-48 right now among Reddick over Hocevar, and we're going to end the poll there. You guys are taking Tyler Reddick, so it's the second time we're disagreeing on who we're picking, which we got two more left here. So let's do that. Pick. Who do you guys got? And we have AJ Allmendinger versus Ty Gibbs. This is another one that I think people are going to be overlooking a few factors on. AJ has been mortal at these tracks as of late. Ty Gibbs has had a little bit of momentum. I could totally see that 54 coming up and sneaking up, and a lot of people putting money on the 16 and losing it. I like Ty Gibbs on this one. I like Ty Gibbs, so I'm picking Ty. And by the way, I've already pre-picked these, so if people think I'm going based on the masses, I'm not. It looks like you guys are also going 54 on this one, so we'll end the poll on that one. And that means we have one more poll on this one. And I'm just going to, again, have you guys pick. And it's going to be Zane Smith versus Chris Buescher. 38v17. I'm going the 17. Best road course statistically of road course racers statistically in the next gen era. No disrespect to Zane, but if nothing happens straight up, I'm going 17 on this one. And it looks like you guys are too. I'll let the vote sort of roll in as we go. Yeah, you guys are, that is lopsided. 30,000. Yeah, that's right, Spencer. 30,000 for Prosper, Texas, 17 all day. And that's pretty much, have I seen anyone pick the 38 yet? I don't think anyone's picking the 38. So on the poll right there. And at 17. So here's what your guys' picks are going on into it. You have Keselowski over Ty Dillon. So we both are disagreeing on that one. I got Ty Dillon. We though agree on the next four. We agree on Bowman over Wallace, Elliott over Nemechek, Jones over Stenhouse, and Preece over Hocevar or Gregson. Where we disagree is you guys have Reddick over Hocevar. I have Hocevar winning that one. So pretty good there. And then we agree on Ty Gibbs over AJ Allmendinger and Chris Buescher over Zane Smith. We will see today. Again, I like this in-season tournament, this bracket challenge, whatever you want to call it. I think it's fun. I think it's a lot of fun personally. And it's not something that's taking away from the racing. To me, it's a modernized no bull. It's a modernized no bull. Let's see. Steven here for the 2 says, up to y'all, but I'd love Maroots full-time on NWP. I don't know about full-time. We're kind of liking the 3 hosts right now, but I will say, like, we definitely are going to have Michael on more. We were talking a bit, and it's criminal we did not have him on for as long as we hadn't. I think our schedules just never aligned perfectly for it. Michael will definitely be on more this year, probably multiple times to finish off the year. He's a friend of the show, and I would love to have Michael on more. Michael seems game. So I think we're all in agreement that Michael needs to be on a little bit more. He's a lot of fun. And Andy gave Danny the nice Danny Ballbuster Talks nickname, which I absolutely love. That was absolutely hilarious. So looking at the rest of it, we talked about the weather. We talked about this, the SVG deal. We talked about, head-to-heads. We talked about TNT, in-season tournament, picks, point standings. I think all we have left is kind of talk about the outlook with Chicago moving forward. This very well and is looking to be the final Chicago street race, if not ever, for a long time. So if you really love this event, enjoy it today. From there, I don't know where they go. A lot of people want Road America. I don't think that's in the cards. I think that, a lot of people talking San Diego, but I don't think San Diego is a 1-for-1 replacement. Could take another date. Chicagoland is the one I'm looking at right now. Chicagoland is the one that I think is definitely gonna happen. There's been a lot of talk with it. I've gotten some updates from people since the host of our video, and he pretty much came at the wrong time. It's looking really good. The host of our video it doesn't look that bad. It just needs some weed whacking and mowing the lawn. That's basically what they do. I'm going to say this. I think Chicagoland comes back, and I think San Diego is the street race. I don't know what happens with Mexico or if they have to remove an ISC date to make something work. If they do, I wouldn't be surprised if Darlington is the date they remove, just because, you know, a lot of us at home love the throwback weekend, but nobody really watched it on TV this year, and the attendance has been piss poor. It's been half full. I remember I was there and it was half full. Do I think Chicagoland will be 4th of July weekend again? No, I don't think that if they bring it Chicagoland, Road America, whatever replaces Chicago in this area, because I think you got to look at it in like Midwest area, because I think that's what they're going to do. I don't think it goes in the 4th of July weekend. I wouldn't be surprised. I know that they want to kick it off with Atlanta. I wouldn't be surprised if they move TNT in Atlanta to the 4th of July weekend. I know there's supposed to be more off weekends next year. Maybe they have an off weekend and that's how it opens up or something like that, with TNT starting in July. But I think that's how it goes next year personally. I guess I can poll you guys. We can do one more poll and then I'll look at that super chat. I promise I did not miss it. Which track replaces Chicago? That's going to be the poll here. We'll leave you 4 options. We'll go Chicagoland Speedway. We'll go Road America. I guess we can use San Diego as the option there, or stay in Chicago. So Chicagoland Speedway, Road America, San Diego, or stay in Chicago. I think it's Chicagoland Speedway, and then San Diego is replacing a different date, personally. I don't think Road America happens. I don't think they stay in Chicago. And it's looking like y'all are kind of on the same boat here. I mean, it's like the worst kept secret of schedule silly season, if you will. And so it's looking like you guys are going with that one. Again, from the way it sounded from Dale Jr. talking on Bless Your Heart was that Mexico would go towards a date that had an off weekend before or after it, which, let's be honest, sounds like they're going to take Easter off again for the Cup Series. Would not be surprised if that means Fox gets Mexico, which I can already imagine how they'll be. And then sound like San Diego would get Mexico's date on the schedule, not like their date personally, but just like the date that they had, which would be Father's Day. So it'd be San Diego Street Course on the prime side of things. And then maybe losing a track with a second date, like they lose one of their dates. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be Darlington. If I was a betting man, again, I don't have any inside knowledge on the scheduling side of it. I'm basically waiting for Bianchi, just like the rest of you. But ending the poll here, 65% of you are saying that Chicagoland Speedway replaces Chicago. San Diego, 16%, 11% to Road America, 6% of y'all saying we're staying in Chicago next year. And at YouTube here with the 20. I'm like having to sit up, make sure that I can read it and be seen. Sorry for the talk about split screen. Haven't heard anyone talk about it, and I know creators have some connections. Figured donate to one of my favorite ones. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And flattery will get you everywhere. But in all seriousness, thank you. And I'll poke around. And next time there's a video, I can maybe say something. Maybe if they're withholding it, I can't. I don't know. I'll poke around and see what I can get. It says, me and my girlfriend love your videos and NWP, pulling for Reddick to win today. Well, thank you. And again, NWP will be this. I believe we have the graphic actually still up. It'll be not next week, this week on Wednesday on Eric's channel. We're hoping to get a guest that might be pretty fun, that a lot of people like for it. But now, man, I'm excited. Now, and I think they'll probably have it, but definitely need it confirmed if it hasn't already been already. But hey, man, this has been fun. I appreciate coming on out and talking with y'all. We will put the stream for the Chicago Street Race up a little bit after probably 1 local time, so Central Time, so about 2 Eastern, roughly. Y'all can hang out with me in there, and we can just enjoy and watch the race, and all of that. But hey, subscribe if you're new. Again, we like live streaming, talking about NASCAR here. It's a NASCAR pretty much almost every single day of the year, especially during the season. So subscribe if you're new. We'd love to have you around. And if you've been here a while, we love having you around. I will see you guys later today after the Cup race. Keep an eye out for when the stream goes up. Make sure you have notifications on or bookmark it or whatever you do to remember. And I will see you guys roughly, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. All right. See you guys then. Have a good one. Enjoy your day, guys.